Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're talking about the Scram 411 from Royal Enfield. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on whether or not this motorcycle right here is a good buy, or if you should say goodbye. This bike is pretty much entirely based on the already existing Himalayan, which is powered by a 411cc overhead cam, air-cooled, oil-cooled, single-cylinder motor. It's mated to a 5-speed, constant mesh gearbox, and sits at a pretty decent 31 inches in seat height. And it's pretty lightweight at only 407 pounds. Like all Royal Enfields, this one does come with ABS as standard equipment, it's fuel injected, and it sits about an inch lower than that Himalayan. As far as looks go, the bike is stunning.
It's beautiful!
Though it does have relatively low performance numbers that aren't by any means earth-shattering, it is a really competitive model for that beginner category of dual sport that allows you to take your motorcycle almost anywhere. Now then, on to the test ride.
All right, we're out on the test ride for the Scram 411. Absolutely not a speed demon, but that's not what it's made to be. So let's talk about what it is made to be. And what I think it's meant to be is an affordable, approachable, low maintenance, dual sport motorcycle. If you come from the world of KLX 250, KLX 230, KLX 300, you're gonna be pretty comfortable on this machine. And if you already have one of those bikes and you're looking to upgrade, I don't think I'd recommend this as an upgrade. This is more of a lateral step or almost even a step backwards because of those low power numbers. Don't get me wrong, this is a really fun bike, but I think each motorcycle has 5 criteria that you can assign to it, and I think those 5 pillars are as follows: speed, power, control, comfort, and price. Speed and power are 2 different items. One bike can be very powerful but not have a ton of speed. Price, you know what that is. Comfort, that one's pretty self-explanatory also. And control. Some bikes are much easier to control than others because of some of the other variables, but a lot of it boils down to weight. Out of those 5 pillars, the ones that the Himalayan really delivers on are control, price, and I guess it would have to be comfort. It is a really comfortable motorcycle, and at low speeds, which is probably where you're going to be using this motorcycle in the woods, is really nice, but it's lacking in the power and speed department. Then again, it's not made to do those things, so I can't fault it for that. But in terms of control, check this out. I'm almost between these 2 yellow lines. The bike is super manageable, super tame, and super easy to control. I really do like what they did with the tank right here, how they have it beveled so that your knees can lock right into it and you can actually really grip the bike and throw it around and control it with your knees. That's going to be super helpful on the trails. There's no tachometer, which I'm not a fan of, but I guess for this style of bike, you don't really need one, especially if you're in off-road situations. Super simple layout going on up here. You've got your speedometer across the top here showing miles per hour and kilometers per hour. Your clock is right there. Your fuel gauge goes along the top arc of that LCD screen. Odometer's below that. And then you've got trip A and trip B on this switch right here, which that's a really weird placement for that. I feel like it's not super safe trying to modulate that while working the throttle. Controls are very basic. This is a very basic bike, and that's why it's so cheap. 5099 starting MSRP, about 61 to 6600 depending on where you're at in the US to get one out the door before taxes and any registration fees that are applicable to your local county. You've also got this little gauge pod over here. That is the tripper navigation, much like on the Royal Enfield Meteor 350. That's turn-by-turn navigation, so I put in my destination, it'll tell me where my next turn is and what the distance is until that next turn. If you're riding in an area that you're unfamiliar with, pretty useful for finding your way around if you want to get somewhere like a point of interest or anything like that. This power curve is just so flat. Like, even if you downshift and you just 100% throttle it, nothing. There's something, but it's nothing special. This is a fun bike to ride though. Like, it's very playful. It's just not super rev happy. It just kind of wants to be ridden very normally and not aggressive. The suspension is pretty forgiving. It's not super stiff. It's not exactly plush, I'd say, but it's soft. But I guess it's off-roadable, you know. It's not an ideal street suspension setup, It's a little too soft for the streets in my opinion, but whenever you get big bumps in the road like this right here, pretty thankful for the softness of that suspension to soak that stuff up. All right, here's a 0 to 60 test. I'm not a professional rider, nor will I claim to be one. I'm going to do my best to get this bike from 0 to 60 as fast as possible. 3, 2, 1. Jeez. All right, we're pulling along pretty nicely at 70 miles an hour. I only have 5 gears, so this is as high as I can go. I don't really have much passing power. If I want to go from 70 to 80, it takes me like, damn, I'm gonna say at least 20 seconds at wide open throttle on flat ground in normal conditions. Bike is not super confidence inspiring on the interstate. It doesn't feel incredibly stable, but stable enough that if you had to ride 5 miles like this, you could. And I guess I would trust the engineering if I had to. Man, this thing is so wobbly. It's kind of sketchy. Like, just a little bit. Just wiggling little by little. Ow. Just got hit in the chest with a rock. So yeah, this bike for commuting purposes, no. Nope. No. No way. However, this bike for practicality purposes, no matter what conditions, wet, dry, dirt road, paved road, off-road, gravel road, no road, it doesn't really seem to matter. This bike can handle it pretty well. It's just not going to handle it with the most power you've ever felt out of an ADV bike. It is not something you should be buying for power. It's something you should be buying for its price, the control, and its versatility. It's really fun to ride. I'll give it that. This one just doesn't have the guts, man. It's got no balls. It's only like 410 pounds, which is not quite as heavy as your mom, but almost. Does it wheelie? Let's find out. Nope, nothing. The tire did not even come off the ground. I just felt the suspension pull. Try it again. Yeah, that is dog crap. So I guess closing thoughts I'd want to bring up with this bike. If you're looking to get into the ADV motorcycle world on a budget and you don't need a ton of power and this is your first bike ever, then I think this is a really good buy because you're going to get the control, you're going to get the price, and you're going to get versatility as well. If you don't have any motorcycles right now and you're an experienced rider and you want to pick up an ADV bike and you've ridden ADV before, I don't think you'll be super stoked on this unless it's your second or third bike. If you've already ridden ADV and you've had a dual sport from the Japanese OEMs or you've had a Himalayan from Royal Enfield already, this is a good buy. I just don't think it's powerful enough, and I think that any enthusiast motorcycle rider who does it for a hobby or even sport is going to be a little underwhelmed with the capability of this bike. Overall, I think it's very fun. I personally would not buy one for myself, but it is very fun, and if you had, you know, some trails around your house, dirt roads, gravel roads, then I think this would make a pretty good option for you. Just keep in mind it's a little down on power, but you can still have fun with it at the end of the day. Hey guys, welcome to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for 1,700 subscribers. We might hit 2,000 before the end of the year. I don't know, it's kind of up in the air, but it'd be really cool to see us get there. So if you're not subscribed and you're currently watching, please consider hitting that subscribe button, leaving a like on this video, and leaving me a comment telling me what you enjoy about this motorcycle. If you enjoyed this style of video, consider checking out some of my other ones. I put a whole playlist together right here of all my Should You Buy videos, so you can check that out if you want to learn more about some other motorcycles. That'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and ride safe.